Good afternoon. What have we got here? A sycamore. Now, I've explained in other videos that sycamore are not generally seen as a good bonsai material, but I was in the corner in my dad's garden and he wants rid of it. He was just going to dig it up and cut it down. I said, hey, let's have a go, see what I can do. And with this kind of chunky base, perhaps if I can build a bonsai this sort of size and reduce the leaf size, maybe I can produce a bonsai. So about a week ago we cut off the two. Oh, it's soaking wet. That's sap from the rising sap from the trunk. You can see it's bleeding all down. There's a lot come out. Hopefully it doesn't affect it too badly. But what I'm going to do today is explore the nebari at the base and see if there's any decent structure there. We've got loads of little branches and buds coming from the bottom, so I know it's a healthy plant. There's nothing yet coming on this stub, but hopefully something will appear in time. If not, I can always cut that off, and that'll have real taper then, just going into this one and up to this leader. I can leave this here as long as I want, so I'm anticipating leaving this for possibly 3 or 4 years in the ground while this all develops. But I did want to just see whether it's worth working on, because if the root is awful, there's no real point doing it. So I'm just going to have a look now, basically hack into a bit of this soil and see what I'm dealing with. So now I've zoomed in, you can really look at that. That's the sap that they make like maple syrup out of. Obviously not from the sycamore, but from the maple, it's in the same family. And really all I'm trying to do now is just remove a bit of this soil and have a look and see if there's much of a flare to these roots, really. See, this root here is running right back across, so that's no good. But hopefully where the base flares out here, I come down to a nice root structure. Is obviously, that's what I want. So these roots go down, that comes across nicely there, this root. And I love this kind of exploring, this sort of exploratory work, because I'm really finding out whether there's any potential to this tree. Down the line. And if this does look really good, then I know as I'm pruning the tree and working on it, I know that down the line there's going to be something really good to look forward to sort of putting in a pot. So this is kind of like a bit like when you're a kid and you're opening up your presents at Christmas and you don't know what you're getting. It's that same kind of thing. So far I'm quite happy with this. Quite happy with what I've found so far. It seems to be spreading out nicely. And that's quite a nice spread of roots. I think I'll just go a little deeper. I kind of anticipate the front coming in here, so I'm going to have an explore on the other side now. So I've done some excavating around this base and these roots are great, nice and radial, look superb. But I've got this one here and it almost comes down here and splits and goes back on itself, and oh, this is what happens. It comes around here and then it comes up and back over, so it forms a loop, and that's quite messy, that. I think it's fused behind there, so it's all become one big kind of knuckle now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this. See if this will come off. No, that's all fused together, that. This is all fused as one, so the only thing I can do is cut down like that, cut this whole knuckle off. It's not the sharpest saw that I've got, because I've used it for a lot of work like this, and they just get blunt, you know, cutting through stones and soil. That kind of no. I definitely got through something there. There we go. Let's have a look now. There. So that's gone. And I can see what's happening down here now. Obviously that's where I've cut through. And I think the best solution is going to be to remove this whole knuckle, this whole ugly knuckle here. I think it's got to go. There we go. Off. So that was a bit drastic in some ways, but this section now might possibly start throwing out some new roots, and I've removed the major problem. So nice job. So that was the sycamore dealt with. Quite happy with how that turned out. Quite a nice spread of roots, and leave that in the ground for a couple of years, and I think there might be something there worth a play anyway. I've just moved along now to a hawthorn. First thing, I'm just going to cut some of these branches away which are in the way, because I can do without these things scratching my face. And also I want to try and allow some light in. So if I can let some extra light in to this, it's got more chance of developing and growing healthy. And I'm pretty sure my dad's not bothered about these. The bottom of these will just grow back anyway. You know what hawthorn's like. It's basically like a weed. Grows like a weed. And so no worries. Now there's also a holly down here which has got to go. I know Peter Chan says collect these and use them for bonsai, but if I'm honest, I'm not that keen, although this actually looks like quite a good example. It's got a bit of movement at the bottom. Whoa, that won't just pull. Those roots go right down. The hardy old plants, these hollies. Oh, that does not want to come. See, the soil here is bone dry. Oh, come on, go for it. There. Can't be bothered with that. It's a holly. I'm not wasting my time. If it came out and the bottom looked amazing, you know, it was like all twisted and interesting, I would have kept it, but not worth the effort. So I'm going to do the same thing here as I did on the previous video, which is take a look at the base of this tree. So dig around with my pickaxe and see if there's a decent nebari at the bottom. So let's do it. So that went really well. As you can see, I've got these gorgeous roots that come right down here and then head on further down. And to me, these are so interesting. The trunk is fairly uninteresting in this tree. Well, it is uninteresting. It's got some basic taper, but there's not much happening. But this is just fantastic. Look at that. Look at all that character. So what I'm thinking is, this has to be exposed. I wonder what's at the back. Could this possibly sit on a rock and have these coming down the front of the rock? I don't know. It's possible. Let's have an explore. So we've got an interesting question here, and I'm genuinely interested in what you think. There's nothing down this bottom there. I've dug it out, it's empty. We've got a gorgeous root system round here. Is this going to be a tilting style? It's maybe slanting back. Would you plant it over some kind of, on some kind of slab, or what would you do with this tree from here? I'm interested to hear what you think, or what you've got to say, what ideas you've got. Would you cut it shorter? Should it be a really squat tree down here, or do you think that's about the right height? I'm thinking maybe it wants to come down. I just don't know, but it's interesting anyway, and I'm really happy with this. If this buds out and comes alive, which I hope it will, I think this is going to be a really good tree. On to the next one. So this is the last one for today. I'm not going to bother digging this one because I remembered I already know a bit about this one because I've dug around it late last year, last sort of autumn time. It's sprouting out nicely, lots of new shoots coming out. So it looks better from this side because it's wider. It's not got great taper, this piece, so it moves about. I don't know about this one. I don't even know if it's worth doing much with, but it's growing, so I think it's one that I might dig up, put it in a pot and give it away to one of my subscribers, something like this. I'm sure there's people who'd like a nice thick hawthorn like that, so I'll give it to one of my regular commenters, people who comment on my videos, and maybe next year sometime, once I've dug it up and got it in a pot. But that's all for today. We're going to go and film another video now, which is going to be quite interesting. My dad's just getting the chainsaw and I'm going to cut another of these hawthorns. We've got loads of them, but this is a really interesting one with 3 trunks, so tune in for that one tomorrow.